Can I get a hallelujah? It is almost over. Hey, this is Doug, and welcome to episode number 20 of the Doug Stewart podcast. Now, if you're anything like me, you've had the moments, and you've probably even said it out loud, like I have this year, of like, man, can we just get this year over with? Between COVID-19, between the political landscape, between all the things that have gone on, Tiger King and murder hornets, this is a year that feels like, for lots of good reason, that like, let's just get to the next one, shall we? But anytime you're going through a tough circumstance, something you wouldn't have picked, and I think we can all agree that we would not have picked 2020 if we had been given the choice. When you're going through a tough time, I find that there's two options, and really perhaps three. One option is to see where the opportunities are in this negative circumstance. So as an example, a couple of things that I intentionally and consciously did this year that I may not have done had 2020 not happened or played out the way it did. The first thing is I wrote a book. Whenever we found out that we were going to be quarantined, they came on the news, if you remember, back in March. They said, we're going to have to quarantine for like 2 weeks. And if we quarantine for 2 weeks, then we'll be good. And so I thought to myself, like, what in the world am I going to do for these 2 weeks? And so I decided to sit down and finally write this book, which just came out. Link in the description, shameless plug, there you go. And that was a good outcome from this year. Another thing that I did that was really good is I stopped drinking. I became completely sober. I recognized that I was using alcohol an awful lot, particularly in quarantine, to medicate, whether it was boredom, whether it was fear, whether it was a way for me to medicate and stop thinking about all the uncertainty that was going on. So I stopped. I started taking care of my body a bit better this year. I spent more time with my kids and my wife this year than I ever have. I didn't get on an airplane and travel. I was much more intentionally, relationally with the people that were close to me, the people and the families that we quarantined with. So there are some good things for me anyways that have come out of this year. And hopefully there are some positive steps you've taken inside of the circumstance while you were in it. That's not the only way though. And so there are things that I look back and I think, gosh, I wish I would have capitalized on that opportunity or this opportunity, and I didn't. And so the second way is not just about what you do while you're in it, what you do as you're coming out of it. So there's no question that 2021 will be different. We're not going to go back to the way it was. It'll never be the way it was because it's a new year. It's a different year. There's going to be something different. There's going to be circumstances that we're grateful for, and there's going to be others that we wouldn't choose. And so the other option for the areas in our world, in our life, and in our relationships that we didn't take advantage of while we were going through 2020, we have an opportunity to make those adjustments in 2021. And then the third thing we can do is as we go into new circumstances, one of the things that I love about Dale Carnegie's writing, as an example, is he would talk about how we live our lives in peaks and valleys. And 2021 hopefully will have more peaks than valleys. And the awareness of 2020, the experience of 2020 can help us as we're going through 2021 to make even more conscious choices with the way we spend our time, with where and how we spend our energy. And those things are a choice. So is it a choice for the circumstances we get? No, the cards are the cards. But is it a choice of how we play our cards, the story we tell ourselves? Yeah, absolutely. It is our choice, and it's also our responsibility. So as we end 2020, I encourage you to consider, what are the things that you adjusted this year that were positive for you? And what are the things that you can learn from, that you can take into 2021 to help you to have a healthier, more successful, more rich experience next year? Blessings to you, my friends.